Hello, this is Movie Monster, and here's some stuff I watched. In Something in the Dirt, two Los Angeles neighbors discover indisputable evidence of the supernatural and come up with a get-rich-quick scheme to make a documentary about it. And that's all I'm gonna say. The latest film from and starring Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead, it's a low-budget, mind-bending comedic sci-fi film that comments on and partially satirizes our obsession with conspiracies and our desire for answers, even in a world of information overload, while also creating a compelling mystery in and of itself. The aesthetic of the conspiracy-minded also extends to the editing, with much of the film repeatedly cutting to found footage sources and flashbacks, though the full extent of it I won't reveal here. The further the film gets, the crazier things become, and there's even points where the story takes a hilarious turn for the meta that will make you question even the film's basic narrative. That's not to say that's all there is to the film, though. It's just as much a buddy movie as it is a sci-fi thriller, and Benson and Moorhead are just as great actors as they are inventive independent directors. The sense of humor here is often absurdist, which complements the plot well. As you can probably tell by the cryptic trailers, the less said, the better. But if you're looking for under-the-radar speculative fiction, this is definitely one of the more enjoyable and impressive films I've seen this year. The Fabelmans isn't merely the latest film from Steven Spielberg, but it's a film about Steven Spielberg. Or rather, Sammy Fabelman. Sammy is essentially a surrogate for Spielberg's coming-of-age story, and while the director may have created some of the most memorable moments in cinema, it turns out that his own experiences make for great drama as well. The film follows Sammy as he grows up in the 1950s, gaining a passion for creating movies, before coming of age in the 1960s. If this were merely a film about loving and learning to make movies, I'd admittedly consider it catnip. But the bulk of it is about Sammy's frequently tumultuous life, a reality of family problems, relocation, and anti-Semitism that no cinematic fantasy can truly overpower. In fact, in some stunningly directed moments during the film, Sammy's discovery of the power of movies goes both ways, though I won't reveal how. While Spielberg aficionados may love the film and appreciate a lot of the real-life parallels, I was pleasantly surprised at how effective this was as a period coming-of-age story in general. It's funny, sad, sometimes emotionally wrenching, and it really feels like a journey. It's a long movie, but it rarely to never felt excessive, and I did feel engaged and immersed in Sammy's life. This could have very easily been a self-indulgent nostalgia trip for a big-name director, or at least another overly sentimental ode to the power of making movies, which I definitely wouldn't mind another one of, but it would be a harder sell for everyone else. The cast is great, especially Michelle Williams, who gives an often intense performance as Mitzi Fabelman. The supporting cast also deserves note, with Seth Rogen in a rare dramatic role, and Judd Hirsch, whose brief appearance in the film is probably one of the most memorable scenes. However, the real praise should be given to Gabriel LaBelle as Sammy. Stepping into the shoes of one of the biggest names in cinema for his film about his life experiences is a daunting task, and LaBelle nails it, being an endearing protagonist regardless of who you know he's supposed to be. I'm sure this film's going to be a big contender at the Oscars this year, and I'm letting you know it's really worth seeing, whether you're a movie lover, a Spielberg fan, or just someone looking for a good story. Finally, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is the latest Marvel film, and perhaps the most anticipated superhero film this year. Sure, there are those who scoff at superhero movie audiences, and I'm sure the studio would like you to treat all of their films as events. But this is not only the follow-up to Marvel's only Best Picture nominee, it's also overshadowed by the death of initial star Chadwick Boseman. With so much to live up to, and with a runtime of nearly 3 hours, it's an accomplishment that they ended up creating something that was actually worth watching. Due to the hype surrounding this film and lack of serious plot details in the trailers, I'll try to be as vague as possible. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is everything a sequel should be, or at least what you can call a sequel in this franchise. A movie that expands on the plot, and with bigger stakes and action as well. The action sequences and spectacle were top-notch, with several really well-done set pieces. The story was also incredibly engaging and kept me invested. I really felt the stakes involved, and some of it felt truly epic. I also enjoyed Namor as a supervillain. He was well written, as opposed to just being the evil one in the story, and felt like an actual character. However, my one major complaint is that the film was a tad too long, and by the third act my interest had started to seriously wane. Still, this was definitely one of the better Marvel films in a while, and a decent action film overall. If it was shorter, it would have been great, but there was still enough to justify my recommendation. That's all for now, and I hope to have more reviews for you soon.